Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Always Compete Seahawks Podcast. I am Sam, that is Mike, and today we have another fun video planned for y'all. We are going to be continuing our top 10 Seahawks players of all time series. If you missed out on number 8, go back and check that one out. Number 8 was Marshawn Lynch. Today we have our first Hall of Famer on the list, and it is Mr. Kenny Easley. Kind of, a lot of people consider him the Cam Chancellor, before Cam Chancellor for the Seahawks. Once again, another thing that has kind of hurt the players way back on this list is that they were great for the time that they were great, but very short careers, and it's kind of the same for Kenny Easley. Kenny Easley was kind of one of the Seahawks' first great first-round picks. He played from early 80s to mid-80s, where interesting story on how he retired. I believe he played only like 6 or 7 years in the NFL. Kind of crazy they still made the Hall of Fame. Shows really how talented and great he was. Interesting story. The Seahawks traded Kenny Easley, I believe in 1986 or 87.
After 87.
To Arizona. And at that time, I believe they were the Phoenix Cardinals. And they traded him to Arizona. And everybody's like, why would they do this? He's great. And the Seahawks did it without – they just wanted capital. They got a good offer. He's been in the league for like 6 or 7 years. You can move on. It's okay. Turns out that he lands in Arizona, getting his physical. They're like, Kenny, you have a near-deadly kidney disease. You have to retire right now and get treatment.
Yeah.
So he retires. He's ended up making it out. He had his Hall of Fame speech. He was there to see him get inducted to the Hall of Fame. So good on Kenny. But, really interesting.
That trade literally saved his life.
That trade, it literally saved his life. Because, he probably would have had a physical anyways, but they pulled him in. They're like, hey, but maybe if he had his physical at the start of the season, which was like a month or a couple months away, maybe he would not have lived. So it's really, really like an interesting story. Mike, if you have the stats on Kenny Easley.
I do actually, and you mentioned, the longevity of his career really wasn't there. He played from 1981 to 1987. However, as has been a theme with a lot of other players on our list, in his short prime, he was fantastic. It was a 5-time Pro Bowler, 3-time All-Pro, won 1984 Defensive Player of the Year. He was named to the All-1980s team. Obviously, he's a Hall of Famer, like Sam mentioned. In 1984, led the league with 10 interceptions and 2 pick-sixes. This guy was truly one of the best and most underrated safeties of the 80s. When obviously you think of the 80s, you think of guys like Ronnie Lott and Steve Atwater and all those guys. Kenny Easley's right up there. He is one of the best safeties in the history of the game. Unfortunately, like we've mentioned, he couldn't play for that long, but while he was here, he was really, really something special. And if you think about it, he was drafted in 1981. The Seahawks were 5 years old. As a franchise, the Seahawks were 5 years old at that point. That he was truly one of their first great players, and he's continued to be one of the best players that they've had in the history of their franchise. So Kenny Easley is our number 7 greatest Seahawk of all time. Sam, anything else?
Yeah, I believe he's the 4th Seahawk in the Hall of Fame. The other 3 are on the list higher. And I will disclaim before we end the video that he is the first Hall of Famer on the list, and the rest of the video, in the rest of the series, is either Hall of Famers or will be Hall of Famers when they retire. So
eventual Hall of Famers are everyone else on this list is going to be a Hall of Famer at one point.
Yeah. So that's going to wrap it up. We appreciate y'all for watching. Leave a like, subscribe, and press that bell to guarantee you will not miss out on great Seahawks content. Subscribe to the podcast on wherever you get your podcast, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever that may be. And we appreciate y'all for watching. See you next time. Peace out.